right, Matt. So we were talking Friday. I thought there would be follow through till at least Monday morning on Tesla stock. We were wondering who was buying the stock. I thought as Tesla bulls getting more exposure, maybe going more all in on Tesla, maybe adding some margin or some leaps. But it turns out there was another buyer.
There was a certain Elon Musk was buying in volume on Friday. We were wondering what was going on. Is it just FOMO with the price moving up on Tesla on no news? But in fact, it was just Elon. The timing of this is pretty interesting, given that today, Monday the 15th, is actually the date of record for the shareholder vote. And I understand you were asking Grok some details around that. Curious what you found.
What I asked was, will Elon Musk vote on his own pay package in November or skip that part of the voting? Grok says the following: Elon Musk will vote on his pay package. That's speculative. Tesla's proxy statement confirms that under Texas law, he is permitted and the board expects to include his shares in the vote for the 2025 CEO Performance Award on November 6, 2025, which is when the vote is happening. No abstention is planned. I thought that's really interesting.
So
That's pretty wild.
Possible Grok's hallucinating something here, but we want to make clear this is just a very quick query that Bradford's done. We don't know this for certain to be true, but it at least seems very interesting to us. And the timing of buying these additional shares on Friday, that certainly does lend credence to the fact that he was trying to do that ahead of this vote on his compensation.
He's preventing other people from having those shares to vote, driving up the price for people buying shares last minute to get votes. It could also be Elon is FOMOing a little bit. He's seeing how good version 14 is. And
you said it could be people FOMOing on margin. Maybe it was just Elon FOMOing on margin.
I think he's taken a lot of the margin off. I don't think he has margin anymore. Or maybe he reloaded on it.
But where'd the billion cash come from?
I was wondering about that. I think XAI's done a raise. Neuralink's done some raising. I think SpaceX flipped from buying back shares to raising. So I do think Elon does have some money from some of those raises. Because he's a majority owner, he can transfer cash however he pleases. He did sell some of his own shares, especially XAI. So he does have some cash. This is a bit wild. I wonder if Elon is $1 billion. It's possible he also bought on Thursday because the stock was up a lot on Thursday. But why are we finding out about Friday's buying pretty quickly? I think they filed because typically Tesla could wait three business days or something like that to file this notice. But I think because of the record date, they wanted to not delay that. So I'm wondering if it continues today or not.
Yeah, that is a good point. Those of us who've been in Tesla for a while have a bit of that scar tissue from seeing these Form 4s drop when he was selling. We thought, all right, rip the Band-Aid off, at least we're done. And then it would just continue. And a couple days later, we'd get a new Form 4 that would show a couple more days buying. So that's actually a really interesting point that it's possible he could continue buying. I would expect he doesn't continue buying past the date of record, but today at least it's possible that he could continue buying. So I would say if that was the case.
It could also be settlement date. So like if it's settlement date, then today's buying wouldn't count. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, again, probably Tesla Boomer Mama is great at these super nuanced, specific questions. My gut reaction is that I'm pretty sure it would be the date that you buy, not when it's settled. But at the same time, how do you audit that if the shares haven't settled yet? So I'm not sure what the actual rules are. The other reason I think Elon buying is unlikely to continue today is that he wouldn't want to unnecessarily pay a premium. And he would have known that filing the Form 4 the day after he bought these shares would have caused the price to spike. So I think if he was planning to buy more shares, he would have delayed the filing of the Form 4.
So Tesla bulls are getting excited. The stock is ripping. I think you saw 427 at one point. I'm curious where it is now, what we're seeing.
428.87.
Dang.
Just keeps going. Yeah, and it's funny. I think it was just last week you were talking about risk of a God candle and not wanting to go too aggressive on covered calls because when premiums were low and volatility was low, there's the risk that you have something exactly like this. This is part of the reason why with our covered call strategy, we don't just mechanistically follow the same strategy week in, week out. when the stock is giving us a different look, when the market is giving us a different look with premium, we want to make sure that we're taking that into account with our decision making. And boy, I'll tell you, I'm very happy we didn't just go aggressively on covered calls when the premium was extremely low.
Yeah, so
Depending
what
on
that looked like is I thought it was over 50-50. I know that's easy to say, but that we'd have a big surge on Monday morning. I didn't know that Elon would do some buying, but I didn't even think that was like a thing. Elon allegedly hasn't bought shares since 2020. I think I told you I thought it was higher than 60% chance that we have a blow up on Monday morning, a big surge, in which case it may be better if we were to sell cover calls on Monday instead of the Friday before. So we'll see what happens. It doesn't mean we're selling today. That just shows you a little bit of our thought process. And we do think there are a number of catalysts for the stock beyond the vote and having voting shares. Q3 numbers look really good. And there was this letter that went out, one of the heads of the plant in Germany, that they're going to increase production. Now, that's off possibly a pretty low base, but maybe they saw a substantial pickup from that low base. So I don't think suddenly they're bumping up against capacity or anything like that. But it was thought that Germany was going to be dropping the ball this Q3. And I'm guessing Germany will be lagging, but not as much as people had previously thought. So Troy Teslike better get those estimates up.
He raised them yet again just yesterday, I think. If you go back and look at his chart, it's every single release is higher, higher. This is something you and I were talking about maybe a month ago, that people had way too low of expectations for production and deliveries. Very nice to see that starting to be recognized. We don't think production and deliveries is the most important thing in terms of the value of the stock, but it certainly can move the stock. We saw this with Q1 being so low, and I think we're seeing it now with Q3 being higher than what was some pretty depressed expectations.
V14 coming out, maybe potentially the safety monitors come out of RoboTaxi. We'll see what happens. There's a new sheriff in town with Tesla stock, and it's Elon effing Musk. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that Adam Jonas report over the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It's like an analyst report. I expect it to be a bit boring, but it was basically like his road trip diary, traveling from New York to Michigan, how he stopped and had an amazing supercharger experience. This is very unusual for an analyst report, sharing all these pictures of his dog and how the FSD did 99% of the driving with zero issues, except for some minor navigating around an Arby's parking lot. So this was a very unusual report. I think it's also worth noting he's on a hardware 3 car, and he's not even on the latest and greatest version of it. So he's blown away by this, which is the stuff that you and I were like well past 9 months ago or something like this. So the cutting edge Wall Street analyst is sharing how great this technology is, which like we're on the cusp of V14. So if you have hardware 4 on V14, your experience is about to get significantly better than what Adam Jonas is like melting all these minds about. I think that as enthusiastic as we are, and as much as all of us in this Tesla community know how good FSD is, the vast majority of people don't. And even those who might have some experience are probably still on hardware 3. I think another catalyst is just this continued drip of understanding of just how good FSD has become. I don't think that's a secret that's going to remain in the bag for very long.
Yep. He's Matt Smith. I'm Bradford Ferguson. We're with Rebellionaire and wanted to give you our hot take before Matt's vacation. Should be a fun week, Matt. You should have warned me a little more that you're going on vacation. Maybe the stock's going to go down when I'm on vacation and shoot up when you're on vacation.
We have had that. Yeah, I did schedule this vacation like 4 months ago. It wasn't a secret, but yeah, we do have an inverse vacation thing, it seems, where stock seems to go down when you're gone. So maybe I should just step back a little bit till we get to the thousands and then come back.
Take one for the team.
Thanks everyone for watching. And I'm going to steal Bradford's line and say bye for now.